Hey everybody, PJ here, and today I'm back at Tarmac at Somercotes, and I've been invited for a tour. I did say in my oh, what do they call it now? That when you talk, my live stream, I did say in my live stream I'd got a nice, interesting tour coming up, and here we are. I've got two gentlemen in front of me. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves, and they're going to tell me a little bit about the company, and then we're going to go and have a nice tour around, and then I'm going to get the drone out and we're going to take a few aerial shots. So let's crack on with it. Right, so these are the two handsome gentlemen in question. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves. If you can just, that's it, cuddle up a little bit. Yeah, if you can introduce yourself, tell me who you are, what you do, how long you've worked here, and what you think of the company. I hate it. No, I love it. Okie doke.
Morning, PJ. I'm Matt Jenkinson. I'm the senior site manager here. So I've been here about 2.5 years. Previous to that, I was chief engineer in Royal Mail Group and Parcel Force. So it's been a change of career for me. My responsibility is everything on the site. So everything from loading to production to the safety and everything in between. I'm responsible for all of it. So I've been Tarmac 2.5 years. Great company to work for. They're really supportive, a lot of community engagement, and really enjoying working here.
So you do a lot for the local community?
We do. We support local community projects, especially environmental ones, and so if anybody wants to contact me, we're always happy to help if we can, within about 10 miles of the plant. So
okay.
Anybody that wants anything, come and see me, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, I'll put an email address below the below the video. So if you need to contact Matt, if you're I don't know a local community and you need a little bit of help, Matt is the man to see. So I will put his email address below. Okay. Can you give us a bit of an example of what you've done for the local community?
So we've worked with Shipley Community Action Group, where we fenced all their new project down in Shipley. So they wanted some fencing for security, so we did that for them. We've supplied blocks and things for local clubs to build sheds and things for security. So other things like bits of pallet wood and things like that we supply. So many things we can do depending on the project. But if it's to do with the community, Tarmac and CRH as our parent company are really keen to support and make sure that we're a positive impact on community. So
you help with goods, you don't give financial help?
No, we can't do financial things, we can purchase things for you.
Right,
so,
okay, no.
Yeah, like any big company, getting hold of cash is not a thing, but we can purchase things and have them delivered to your site. So,
right.
And we look what we can support, and we try and do 2 or 3 things every year to support local community, right, and improve things.
That's absolutely fantastic, especially for a company of this size.
Yeah.
When you've got a company of this size, they tend to be all about the company, and not so much about the outward community. I would suggest that the majority of people that work here are local men and women anyway.
We've got about 80 people work on the factory. Most of the guys live within a couple of miles, Gary, I think, of the plant. And they stay here. So we try and build a place that's friendly and open, and they enjoy coming to work. And most of them stay 20-25 years when they actually get into here. So we try and build a good family spirit as well here, and it's important. We're paying that, and that wages go back into the local community of Alfreton, and we're proud to do that.
Good, that's nice. So you can obviously tell it's a good company if you don't have a massive turnover of staff. No. You go to some companies and people come and stop a few months and then move on, but if people come along and stay there for years and years, then you know that they're happier in the work.
And that kind of thing we're proud of, and we try and build that in Tarmac and look after people. And the very fact of having you here today is that we're open and proud of that. We don't, we see what happens sometimes on some of your other visits, and we're not like that. We're open, we're part of the community, we want people to see what we do, and we're proud of it. And if we can help local community groups at the same time, even better.
Okay, that's wonderful. Right then, let's have a word with this young man. Now, this young man, I believe, is the assistant manager.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Gary White. I've worked here about 15 years now. And thoroughly enjoy every day. Brilliant place to work.
Every day's a bit different.
Very different.
What's
Especially
it-
this chap at side
What's,
of me.
what's
Very
it like
different.
as a gaffer?
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So you can't see yourself leaving here then?
No, definitely.
You're going to be here till retirement?
Yeah, a long time. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
if you make retirement, that
Yeah,
is.
well, yeah. Wayne Wakes. Now I not make it, but yeah, hopefully I will do. Yeah.
Yeah, is he a hard taskmaster?
It's very different. Yes, very hard. Lots of ideas.
Yeah, we've made a lot of changes here over the last 2.5 years and changed the way this plant looks, and yeah.
Okay. Right, so what we're going to do now then is we're going to go and get some safety gear on, and we're going to go and have a look round the site. Is it just you taking me around, Matt?
Me and Gary, we're going to walk you around.
Okay,
yeah.
so both these gentlemen are going to take me around, and we're
Yeah.
going to go and have a look at the site. I've got to finish my coffee first because he's given me a very, very nice mug of coffee here when I first arrived.
Yeah.
The sign of a true gentleman.
Important visitor, important coffee.
Right, so we're going to get changed and we shall see you in a little bit. On site now, and as you can see, Matt's got all the PPE on. He's got the steel boots and the complete coveralls, high-vis coveralls, and the helmet as well. And believe it or not, I'm dressed exactly the same. Looks all right on Matt, but it looks I look a bit of a cock in it. I've just been asking 1 or 2 health and safety questions. I've had to do a induction to come on site, and I've been asking about 1 or 2 other health and safety things. And one of the questions I did ask was about random drug and alcohol testing, and he tells me that you do one.
Yeah, we get random drugs and alcohol testing come probably 2 or 3 times a year, where they just turn up on site, take over my office and randomly test 10 people that are on site at that point. Tarmac are really serious about the safety, and we obviously can't take any risks with people's safety, so that's one of the
And
things.
you do that with visitors as well?
Visitors as well, anybody that's on site, it's a random check, so what we have to do is just give a list of names of everybody on site, and they randomly pick 10 names off the list. Myself
Right.
included. I've been tested a couple of times, and
I take it you passed.
I was okay, yeah. Yeah.
Is that an independent company
Yeah,
that
it's
come
an
along and
independent
does it?
company that come and do it, and
Right.
if there's any issues, then they go off to a specialist lab. And we've had 1 or 2 issues, but we've had false positives and things, but we've actually had no positive tests, but we've had a couple of false positives, but it were all sorted out after a couple of days, and it went to the lab. But yeah, in general, our lads know the rules. They know the danger of drugs and alcohol on site, and there's a lot of things on this site that
That will kill you
will
if you're
kill
not
you
careful.
So,
Yeah.
as with everything in Tarmac, first thing is safety. That's our number 1 priority, that everybody goes home in the same way that they came to work. That's really key to us.
You don't want to go home in an ambulance, do they?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely
Right,
not.
we'll go and have a walk around then.
Okay.
Lead the way, Matt. Blowing in here. Now, these are belly tanks, which means that it doesn't have to lift the tank up into the air. They're a lot safer. They can be harder to blow off. Is he using company air, or is he using his own air?
We've got company air, but he uses some from his, sometimes the donkey engine on the truck as well. So
Right, so it's got, it can use either company air or the donkey engine. What, about 45 minutes to blow off, an hour?
about that, depending on the product. So we have a number of products that go into our mix, from lime to anhydrite, cement, sand. So some of the heavier products, like the anhydrite, you can just see the purple
Yeah.
pipe there. That takes a little bit longer to blow in because it's heavier. The lime, which is blowing in now, blows in a lot quicker because it's a lighter powder.
Right.
So and we go through about 450 tons of material a day here.
So how many deliveries do you get?
These up to 10 a day, sand 20-30 lorries a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They come all through the night.
Right.
So different products depending on what we're making, but it's basically a constant rotation of vehicles in, vehicles out, day and night.
So do you make all, you said you do 3 different types of bricks.
3 different types of products, yeah.
You do a heavy brick, a medium brick and a light
A
brick.
lightweight, yes.
So the heavy ones are for such as the footings and
Yeah.
things like that.
Foundations, lift towers, anything with any mechanical strength,
Right.
7 Newton.
Right, and then you do a normal one, which is for normal building.
So they're your normal run-of-the-mill 3.6 Newton block for inside skins, inside buildings.
Right, and then you do a lightweight one, which is more for, they're more of a thermal.
Higher thermal efficiency. Yeah, we call them a GTI block, and they're a high thermal efficiency block. They're about 2.8 newtons, so a little bit weaker, but a better thermal efficiency.
Do you cook all three at the same time, or do you do batches of one type and then move on to the next type and so on?
Yeah, we have an autoclave, and we'll show you those later. We cook them in a batch because each product has a different cook and pressure time.
Yeah.
So we'll do a full oven of GTIs, a full oven of 7 Newton, a full oven of
Right,
standards.
so you're not producing all three at the same time, one at a time.
So we'll change the mix, have a run, fill an oven up, and then switch the mix again.
Right, okay. Bit bigger than my oven at home.
They're slightly, about 50 metres long. Yeah, so when you have a look at them, you'll see they're quite substantial.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right, let's move on. Right, so we're now where we've got some large water tanks.
Yes. So we use quite a lot of water in our process. We use two types of water. We've got the mains water, town's water.
Right.
Just over there, you can see the little black cover there with a blue top on it. That's the borehole. So we pull some water from a borehole as well.
All right.
To supplement that.
How deep's that? Do you know?
About 20 metres, I think, the borehole.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a pump that drops down the bottom of that pumps that out and supplements the town's water. So we use about 20% borehole water, 80% town's water.
Oh, right.
What you can see here, these barrels, we'll explain them later, but they're 30mm steel balls, and we use those in the ball mill to make the initial slurry for the cakes, which will show you how that's made.
Right, so they go in to agitate the mix
and break down into really small particles, so we can get the good chemical reaction and the bonding.
Right.
So we use about 30 tons of those in the ball mill at a time, and we'll see that makes the base slurry for the cakes.
Right, and they're steel balls?
Steel balls, yeah.
I take it the steel balls come out the other end?
They come out the other end, and we'll show you where they come out, a lot smaller.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Actually inside the building now. It is extremely loud, so I don't know if you can hear us talking.
Yeah, so we're inside the ball mill now. This is the loudest part of the factory, so we're going to have a look at how we make the base slurry. And these are the tanks we store it in. We'll go up there and have a look from the top, and it's a lot more interesting than it is down here.
Okay.
Right, so a little bit noisy here, but I hope you can hear me. This is the ball mill, and we put in here water, sand and anhydrite, and we create the base slurry for everything we're going to do. So there's about 30 tons of steel balls in there. They'll rotate round, and if we look over towards the end of it, you'll see the slurry coming out, and in the tub the balls after they're finished. So you can see they're quite small when they come out, and we keep loading that up from the front of the ball mill to make sure we get a consistent product.
Right.
These have to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, double set, and we have to dig them out. And over at the back, you can see slurry coming down the wall. We'll show you that later, but that's the return slurry coming back up the factory, so we don't waste any.
Right.
So that's recovering all the offcuts and little bits and bobs.
Right. Okay, lovely. So this is all the pipe work that takes it from point A to point B.
And we can use these valves to switch to different tanks depending on what we're doing. So we can run a tank down and maintain it, switch to another one, fill it up. So that allows us to divert things, hence it's called divertible. We can divert the slurry from one of the 4 tanks depending on whether we want to stop one, shut one down, fill another one up, what product we're making.
So if you need to refill a tank or you get a mechanical failure, everything in one, that gives you the option to keep production running.
And it's safe for the guys, because in the past all the valves used to be up at high level, so I had them all brought down to one level so they can do it stood on a safe platform.
Yeah. Health and safety always
for staff first.
So we've got some big containers with all the slurry in here. What's happening here?
Right, so at this point now, it's going to get noisy just as I speak. These are the actual mixers with the product now.
Right.
So what we do is we get the anhydrite, and then we add different things like cement, lime, aluminium powder, ash, paper ash, depending on what product we're making in different different, I can't think of the word.
Different mixers.
Mixers, yeah. And then we've got the mixer over there, which will mix for 5 minutes. And then
That's the mixer that's loading these?
Yeah, it goes up 2 floors.
Right.
Hear that spinning now. Once it's mixed after 5 minutes, that product then will be dropped into those 2 tubs. And that's then ready to set.
And then these tubs get dragged off down the track,
Yeah.
further into the plant.
So we call
where
these
they then process.
we call these the curing tracks. So
Right.
at this point they'll sit on the curing tracks for about an hour until they're hard enough to take the sides off, and then we'll cut them into blocks. So at that point they will set and they will rise about another 30%.
All right. So the tanks will be more or less full when
They get to the end. So that one there you just seen, it'll be about an hour by the time it gets to the cutting line.
Right.
And
Does that produce much heat while it's setting?
They do get hot. The sides can get up to 70, 80 degrees on the side of the form sides.
Yeah.
And they also do give off hydrogen, because that's how they work. It's a hydrogen-aerated block from the powdered aluminium.
Right.
And you can see the big steel covers above the mixer. That's drawing all the hydrogen up and out into the air.
Right. Okay. Very clever.
We're just about ready to drop a mix now.
How long does it take to fill the container?
About a minute.
Oh, that's quick.
And the rest of the plant is all interlinked, so as that one's finished filling,
The mixer at the top
stuff will be loading into the hoppers above, ready for the next mixing line. As soon as this car's gone, the next one will push in and the mixer will start spinning up. 5 minutes later we'll drop another mix. So we aim to be dropping a mix every 5 minutes, day and night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That was going to be my next question. How long does it take to do a mix that you've just told me?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And roughly, if you can tell me, how many bits would you get out of one container?
So we'll get,
depending on size.
roughly out of each container, 4 packs with 45 blocks in each one. We don't work in blocks, we work in meters.
Right.
Because we make different size blocks, so it's not the amount of blocks we get out, really, it's the meterage.
Right.
So we tend to convert everything into what we call 100mm equivalents, which is a meterage.
Okay.
So that's finished.
Do you get much spoilage?
No, about 1%. Because we saw in the previous tank where it feeds stuff back in, all the offcuts get fed back in and reused.
All right, okay.
So we'll see that down the cutting line where they go. If we do have any scrap, that will go to our other plant at Monkbay, and they will crush that and put it into their concrete blocks, so we don't waste anything.
And I'm hoping to get there eventually.
We'll see what we can do with Matt, the plant manager there.
Okay, let's move on.
So what we've got here is a robot oiler, and we use a mineral oil to coat the insides of the form sides to stop them sticking when we lift them off. So just like a cake tin, we call it a cake, and we have a recipe, and we oil the tins and we put them in the oven. So it's very similar.
No fresh cream though?
No fresh cream, but lots of fresh slurry. So you can see we put about 1 litre of mould oil in each one. The robot will oil that all around the sides and in the bottom.
I can just see the robot in there oiling it.
And once that's done, then it will go along under the mixer and we'll put the mix in it.
Awesome. So you do all your own engineering?
We do all our own engineering, repairs, welding, pump repairs and so on. So we have a team of engineers that work here 24/7, and they've got all the milling machines and lathes and everything around the bike for them to do that work. Some things are specialists, they have to go out, but the majority of things the guys will do on site.
Oh, that's brilliant.
A good team of lads, and they
and of course it keeps your costs down as well.
It does, and they're highly experienced, and they'll mend most things on the factory.
Yeah, because I mean you're cutting down on transport costs first of all. You're not moving them around the country to get them repaired.
And you'll see them dotted around the plant because they're the ones with the blue helmets on.
Oh right, so different jobs have different helmets.
Different helmets. The operatives have got white helmets, so we can identify them. Engineering have got blue. Supervisor's red. First aid is green, and the plant manager black,
Black.
so they can spot me.
Right.
Yeah.
Gary's got a red one.
Gary's a supervisor, yeah. So
Yeah.
one day he'll have the black helmet.
Yeah.
That's his next step. But the idea behind that is then, if we're out on the yard or anywhere, they can spot us from a distance.
From a distance.
So it's easy to spot the person you need when they're all dressed in the same oranges. It's not easy to spot.
Yeah.
So,
I had the same thing in the army. Who's that
Yes,
over there?
miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got a quick view here of all the tanks going into the mixer. They're on tracks and they're going through, all automatic, all fed automatically. Absolutely fantastic, this. And this is a view from up here. These are all the tanks. They're going to be here roughly an hour, and as you can see, they get fuller and fuller. When they start at that end, they're about 2/3 full, and when they get to this end, they're more or less full to the top. It looks like they're self-cooking. Would that be a fair description?
That's the curing, the chemical cure.
Yeah.
But they're still soft to touch. You can put your finger in them here,
Right.
but they're just hard enough to be able to take the sides off.
Right.
So we do these in time order. So we'll take them from the front when they're ready. We check that by dibbing them with a little dibbing machine that tells us the consistency.
Right.
And when they're ready, they come forward for cutting. When they go into this line here, you can see one there that's had the foam side taken off, and that foam side will go across onto an empty coming back out of the cooked blocks, which we'll see later, and back for another mix. So in a moment, these will push forward and it will take this foam side off here, leaving us a cake that's set up ready to cook.
They actually look, as they're going round these containers, like they're a one-piece bit of kit, but
yeah,
I can see obviously that they're not. So you've got some kind of lifting equipment which is just there.
Yeah, we call that the foam side stripper.
The foam side stripper?
Yeah, and you'll see it come across and it'll strip this foam side off and take it across there. You can also see grills in the floor.
Right.
Anything, once we start cutting, all the bits that come off the sides go down that grill, and there's a plough that pushes them all the way to the end. We then add some water and feed it back in, and that's where it ends up back in the main tank. So we're not wasting any of the offcuts. So everything gets reused, so we're as efficient as possible.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a quick chat about recycling when we've been round the plant, and you can tell me all about everything then.
78.
So from leaving the slurry and the mixers, and the mixers coming through the mixer and then into these foam siders, did you call them?
Yeah, the foam side stripper,
to actually coming out as a finished product at the end, how long does that take roughly?
So start to finish, from dropping the mix for it to getting piped, depending on what we're making, probably between 10 and 14 hours. Because they're in the autoclaves for 7 to 10 hours depending on the product. You've got a couple of hours on the curing trikes and the time it goes through. So you're looking probably 10 to 14 hours depending on the product before they've, from a mix to a pipe block with wrapping on it and on the yard, ready to go.
Ready to go. Here we go, we're moving along now. As you can see, between the rails down there, there's a linkage system that moves everything along. And I'm assuming that's a big conveyor belt that gets fed back along the underneath and comes around again.
Yeah, pull the wire ropes.
Yeah. So the first thing that's going to happen is the foam sides to be removed?
It is. And then we will place it over on the empty coming back the other way, and that will go back round for another mix.
Right.
So this is as far in the journey as the foam sides ever come.
And another one's just moved in underneath us with the next one in the production. You can see the steam coming.
So that's just the chemical reaction of the rising process.
That's heat produced by a chemical reaction plus heat through friction as it's being lifted up, I would say, yeah?
A little bit, but most of it is it's a chemical process.
Reaction,
it's the set and the rise. So the reaction between the cement, the lime, and the aluminium powder that creates the hydrogen bubbles
Yeah.
that makes it rise.
Yeah, you can still see the steam coming up.
So at this point we call them green cakes before they're cooked. Still quite soft, but hard enough to hold themselves up.
Right. But they wouldn't hold themselves very long, would they?
No, you could poke your finger in them.
Yeah, they'd start to sag eventually if
Yeah.
anything happens. Okay.
So this is the first cut. We cut the blocks using steel wires with hardened metal beads on them.
Right.
And we, like a cheese wire really, we saw through them. This is what we call the top cut, and that will cut the top off the cake at the length of the block, 440 millimeters, which is our block length.
Right, so you can see the wire here, look.
And as it pushes through, you will see that cutting the top cut. So that's cutting it to the correct length of the block, 440.
440 is the bottom section.
Yes, so we just want the bottom bit. We'll take the top off in a bit.
Right, so the
There you
top
go.
bit gets recycled then, does it?
That will later bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay, no.
Okay, so now we've cut the top, we're now going to do the short cut. So we're going to cut right through the blocks to the bottom to put them on the short side of the block.
And this is the same kind of wire with the
Same
beads
one.
on.
This has got 10 wires in here. So we'll do all the cake in one go. And you can look over the top, you can see where they've been cut through.
Yeah.
It will get a bit squeaky as it gets down onto the bottom of the metal foam side, but we've got to make sure we cut through
all the way through.
especially in the middle. So we've got to pull the wires quite tight at the bottom to make sure we cut through evenly right to the bottom of the cake. So in this station we're now doing the long cut of the blocks. So as the machine comes up, you'll see the blocks are now cut in all directions. We've just now got to tidy it up to get a clean cake.
Right.
So everything that falls off goes down the pit and gets recycled. And in the next station we'll clean that up and end up with a cake that's ready to be pushed forward into the ovens.
So this one is moving out the way now, and the next one's just been fed through. It's just a giant production line all the way through.
That's all it is, a big manufacturing process, and the whole system, one part feeds another, so it all runs and all feeds one section, another section, until they come out the end.
I take it you must have some good IT people here to keep all this running.
Well, the plant was built and designed in 1978, and most of it is electrical.
Right.
So there aren't many big computer systems here. It's quite basic systems from 70s and 80s engineering.
Right.
But yeah,
So it all works on sensors and...
most of it works on proximity sensors and things like that, yeah.
So when A happens, the machine does B.
Yes, so if this sensor's blocked, then it can do this, and then it can do that, and then it can do the other. So we've got a lot of limit switches, sensors and things like that. If you look at the top there, you can see a limit switch up there that would trigger as it comes back up.
Yeah, that little blue box.
Yeah, the blue box has got a lever on it, so we have a lot of things like that. So it's quite industrial engineering, but it does the job.
That's all you need. Less prone to breakdown.
It is. You can see that all the sides have been cleaned off and we've just got a cake. So what this station will do is, it's called a bag top. It will come across and it will hoover up all the tops off and leave it like that, and then what we will do is just do a final finish just to make sure there's no little bits on there.
Right.
So as we push forward, you will see just here there's compressed air blowers which will blow the sides off. The back top will take the top off, and then we will just clean round the edge of the frame, and you'll see why we do that in a moment.
Is that done manually?
That's done manually. We've not got to that point yet.
And then we've got a brush on the top, which is good old-fashioned broom. Here it is. The sides are coming up here, look. And that's the next one, ready. So what's this do now? This is the vacuum that sucks everything off.
Take the top off.
Oh right, okay.
So you'll see when it vacuums, you'll see the line appear. There you go.
All right, awesome.
That's one hell of
then little bits like that get cleaned up.
Clean up manually, and we'll clean up round the edges.
Fantastic. So there's a light beam there.
There's a light curtain there that will stop anything moving while he's in that area, but he also has locked off on the reset button there, so no one can restart the plant until it's clear.
So if it's got a green light it can go, and if it's a red light
He
it
has
can't.
to open that box and reset that to be able to restart the plant, but that's his personal lock, so no one else can start it while he's in there cleaning. And now we're ready to go again, and off it will go.
Awesome.
Here now we've printed on what we're making, the batch number and the thing. So this is a 100 standard block, 100mm standard.
Yeah.
And the batch number there for any possible issues in future. If we have any, we can always go back and see what we've made, and for quality control purposes. What you will see in this area though, what we're going to do now is we're going to stack them too high so we can get more into the autoclave for better efficiency. So at the back you can see the different colour in those blocks, they're cut.
Yeah.
It's going to bring that frame across onto here, and this set of blocks at this side are going to be lifted up and sit on top of it.
Right, okay now.
You can see over the back, that has got a bottom with no side, with no wheels on it. So the bogey from this one's going to go under there, and all this is going to move round. So what we're physically doing is we're starting with too high at the far side, making those down to 1, and bringing the 1s up to 2s.
Right.
So this is all frame and bogey transfer. So we have to de-stack them so we can unpack them and put them in the packing line. We stack them on this side so we can get twice as many into the autoclave.
Obviously more efficiency.
Yes.
So the framework is obviously to protect the bricks.
The framework will go on, and that will now stack on the next one. So you come forward to about here. You can see that one's had its bogey removed to the other side.
That one will go on top.
That will stack it on top. So that's why we had to clean around all the edges to make sure that the frames don't stick later. So it's a nice seated thing, because there's not a lot of room, as you can see, around the frame.
Yeah, plus you need it square as well.
We do need it square because you don't really want to drop that off the side.
No.
It makes a mess.
A lot of cleaning up.
Yeah. So at the other side then you can see the ones coming out of the oven that are stacked too high. So we'll de-stack and stack to this side.
So this one's moving along and it's going to go underneath.
Underneath there, and then that one's ready to go for the oven.
And I can see you've got light sensors on here as well.
Yeah, there's light curtains everywhere.
And that's another personal lock there, is it? To lock it up?
It will be. You can lock up there if you need to do.
Right,
We also have full isolation boards behind us that if we're having to go into a maintenance day, we lock every isolator off and shut the whole plant down.
Right, okay.
The key thing with Tarmac is you don't go anywhere without putting a lock on it and protecting it.
So this is full isolation of all the plant boards?
Yeah, so this area, these are all the different places where we put our locks, and all the locks have got a special place where they go. So in this area we have 13 locks to lock this line down. The whole plant we've got 267 isolation points. So this is our wire making station. We make all our own wires here, and the operatives that do this, they actually crimp the steel beads
onto the wire.
wires, and this is what they end up making. So we have these steel wires that slot in with steel beads on, and that's why you get the markings down the outside of the blocks, as the steel beads come down. It's part of the
It's
process.
not just there for fancy patterns.
It's not there for fancy patterns. It's not there for plasterers to get a better key. It's just there, and you can see it's just the way that they sort through.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of urban myths of why it's like that. It's there because that's the way the process works.
So that's what so if anybody's telling you what the pattern is down the side of the brick, now you know why.
It's there because that's the way the system works.
We've just destroyed an urban myth.
Yeah.
What you like, Matt?
A lot of people say, oh, it's there for a key for plasterers and so on. It may work for plasterers, but
That's not the
it's not the
primary
reason
reason
it's done.
it's
It's just there because that's how it works. Simple as that. Sorry. We're now at the end of the cutting line, and this is called the traverser.
Right.
And what this will do is it will take the blocks down to the autoclaves and load them. On its way back, it will bring cooked blocks and take them back up the packing line, so it does two functions.
So the far line there is the
Cooked blocks,
the cooked
track
block.
11,
Yeah.
and the next one up is track 12. This will be coming this way, track 11 goes that way.
Right.
So by the time this traverser comes up to track 11, we should have got track 12 loaded up ready with uncut blocks. It will take them and take them down to the ovens. So the whole thing's a circular process, like a beautiful ballet. What you can see there now is the cook blocks being loaded onto the traverser.
Right.
Once that's on there, it will come down and put up track 11, and everything being equal, track 12 should be then ready to load uncut blocks and take them back down to the oven.
So the entrance to the oven is at the far end of
Yeah, so the entrance, you can see the doors just above there, the big doors.
Yeah.
It will push in from this end.
Yeah.
The ovens are straight through, and while it's pushing in cut blocks, it's unloading. It's pushing in uncooked. It will unload cooked at the same time. So there's a front and a back to them.
Right.
So we load and unload at the same time. Once it's completely full, we close the doors and do the cook, and then we move on to the next oven.
And how long are they in cook, did you say?
Between
Depending on what you're doing.
7 to 10 hours.
And how many ovens have you got?
We've got 8, and they'll take 18 cars in each one. So there's 2 there, so it'll take 9 of those traversers into each oven. It takes about 2 hours to load the oven up.
Right.
So the traversers now arrived with cooked finished product. That will go up track 11, ready to be unpacked for the packing line, and then it will come one step further and take the cooked blocks down to the oven.
Once again, this is all worked on sensors and...
It's all sensors, so you can see there's sensors on the bottom and magnets and
I see the little red lights on there. They're light sensors, I take it, are they?
Yeah, so we've got light sensors on there, we've got ones on the trike. There's also in there though, on the control panel, there's a counter, and it counts how far it's gone, so it knows what oven it's got to.
It knows exactly where it is.
So it counts so many pulses. When it's done so many, it will stop, and it knows it's at that oven. And then it will, you can see just at the side, there's like a metal plate on the wall with a tube. It will lock onto that so it doesn't move when it's pushing.
Right.
There's quite a lot of weight in these. You know, you're looking at a couple of tons. When
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine there's a considerable
you're looking at
amount.
about 3 tons in total with all the 4 cars on there pushing and pulling. So there's quite a lot of weight on there.
It's coming along now to load bricks or blocks to take down to the oven.
That's correct. So if we walk around, we can see them loading in from the end.
And once again, sensors tell all the equipment that when everything's exactly in its place. And look at it, it's off like a greyhound.
So that's on its way down to the oven. See the autoclaves here, these are the front doors. So an autoclave basically is a steam pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So like other bricks are done in kilns with heat, we use a different process because ours is a chemical process.
Right.
Hopefully we'll be able to keep lenses unsteamed. It's a little bit humid up here.
So it's a bit like your pressure cooker that you cook your vegetables at home.
Exactly that. So 12-ton doors on there. You can see it loading that way in up the traverser.
Yeah.
At the same time, it will be pushing blocks out
Another
the
one
back
out
of the
the other
oven.
end.
Once that's completely full, those doors will be closed. They rotate and lock in. You can see the big cams on them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll pressurise up to as high as 12 bar for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours until the process is finished. Then we'll open the doors up and take them out and bring them back up for a packing.
You were right about up here, it is extremely warm.
It is, and when you open a door after a cook, it's even worse.
I can imagine.
This will fill up like a Turkish bath.
I can imagine.
If it was ready, I would arrange one for you.
No,
but
no,
we're
no,
not
no,
ready.
no, no, I don't want to see that. I'm sweating as it is, so...
I normally save that for the when we have quite a good relationship with Alfreton Fire and Rescue, so they come round here quite a bit. We lend them the site for doing events and things.
Yeah.
And I try when they're all kitted up to get a door open while they're up on the top and steam them out. They love it.
I bet they do.
Okay, so that's now loaded. We can go to the back and see
See them
the
coming
other
off
end,
the
see
other
them
end.
coming out.
It's going to be a bit cooler there.
It
I
is,
hope.
a little bit.
So the cooked blocks,
yeah.
now going back onto the traverser, did you say?
Yeah, so the traverser at the back, this is T3, that one's called Traverser 4.
Yeah.
They work in tandem, so we can see it extending out so the rails match. The traverser at the other end is doing the same. That will push the blocks off that traverser,
Onto this one.
and obviously by that will then push this one onto here.
Awesome.
So that one's now pushing at the back, this is pushing the front, and we load and unload at the same time.
So this is where you do your quality control.
So what we do is we take batches of the blocks, we measure the dimensions, the weight, and then obviously depending on what we're making, the compressive strength is important, especially when we're making 7 newtons. So what we'll do is actually crush the blocks here and measure the compressive strength.
Right.
So we'll take some out, crush them, make sure that's right, and then we keep a record of those for future and also for our BSI accreditation and things like that.
Well, I mean, if you're putting these blocks in groundworks and things like that, and there's a multi-storey building on top of them, they need to be strong, don't they?
It is, and you know, we want to provide a good product to our customers and make sure that there's no return. So we do keep a record of all those. We check batches. This one you can see on the end is actually a GTI block, so a lightweight one. But so we do check everything,
Right.
and then we do go through a lot of ISO accreditation and sampling, and we have audits every year for environment, for quality, for safety, all ISO accreditation.
Right, lovely.
Packs of known good blocks from previous tests,
Right.
and then malt those up, and then we'll go in and remove a block from a pack because we need a full pack for later, as you
Yeah,
see.
and then you
we
replace
take
that
out
one.
and then crush that one, and they go off to new
Right.
scrap.
And you've got a special quality control team
Yeah,
that...
we've got a quality manager that looks after all the materials, all the products, the quality from end to end, and then we also have 3 other guys that work on shifts and support the team for quality as well.
Right. Because obviously, when you're talking about anything to do with building,
Yes.
quality control is really, really important.
It is, and so we've got our accreditation to maintain as well, and
Yeah.
our reputation as Tarmac, and we want to keep that high.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's important to us. What we've got here is the T4 traverser at the back of the autoclaves. So as the uncut blocks are being pushed in the front, this is unloading the ones at the back. And then it will bring it towards us and back down the line, and the 2 traversers work in tandem, they'll match up, and that'll end up then a package.
So it gets pushed at that end
Yeah.
and comes off at this end, and then when it gets here, it pushes at this end and comes off at the other end.
So everything's in a nice loop, and everything works in tandem with each other. So this is the back of the autoclave. So once we've done 18 of those cars, we'll then close the ovens up, and then we'll do a cook, and then move on to the next oven.
So by the time one oven is loaded,
Yes.
are you ready for emptying an oven, or is there a waiting period at
No,
all?
they shouldn't be. If they manage it properly, they shouldn't be. No, we move straight from one to another.
Right.
We normally have, at the minute, we've got 2 ovens open, so we normally have 1 or 2 open.
Right.
We do have to then manage that carefully about what product we're making, because some take longer than others to
cook
cook.
than others.
So we do batches to make sure we manage the ovens and never stop.
Yeah. So this is a chimney for the ovens, I take
Yeah,
it?
so this is just steam coming out of there, and that's just the steam coming out of the autoclaves that's after the cooks. So not smoke.
And there's no CO2 or anything, that's
No,
just steam.
Just steam.
Excellent. So are your autoclaves gas, electric?
Gas.
The gas?
Yeah.
Okay, doke.
So, yeah, we have a gas boiler that creates steam, and then we use the steam for the autoclaves. We also do what's called a steam transfer. So once we've finished one cook and it's coming down from 12 bar, we inject that steam into the next oven, and that gives us about 2 bar of pressure in the next one.
Right, so you
reduce the CO2 emissions, saves us money.
and yeah, of course, you're recycling.
Yes.
Didn't realise you could recycle steam.
Yeah. Once you've
I've seen them done bricks and steel and all
we call it
sorts.
steam transfer, and then we'll gain about 2 bar in the next one from the
previous oven.
previous one. Yeah. And we do make sure they do that religiously, don't we? We measure them on it. So Tarmac, we're ISO 50001 accredited as a company, and all these things are important to us. So we've relit all the plant with LEDs. We're constantly looking at different ways of doing things, not just in blocks, but Tarmac as a whole.
Yeah.
So they're doing lots of different things around low carbon cements, electric vehicles, different types of waste products into asphalts and things like that. So there's a massive.
That's one of the things about cement that people don't like is it's got a massive carbon footprint.
It has, and Tarmac are doing some real good technological work on low carbon alternatives. So that's a really important thing for us over the next 3 or 4 years. So there's a central environmental team that drives this, not just in blocks product, but in the quarries and everything else in Tarmac, building products and beyond.
Right.
And then CRH is a parent company, obviously they're one of the largest building companies in the world. They're absolutely massive.
Is it a British or American company?
They're based in Dublin, so yeah, but they're worldwide. So there's quite a lot in North America, Spain, France, Far East. So there's a lot of outlets across different businesses. Tarmac just being one of those. But CRH obviously take their environmental stewardship very seriously as well, and want to improve that constantly towards this 2030 carbon zero, net carbon zero.
And we need to be.
We do.
Certainly. I mean, I'm an old fart now. It'll not make much difference to my life.
No,
but I've got kids and I've got kids and I've got grandkids.
It is.
And I've got to think about them.
I've got a 3-year-old grandson as well, and it's important the legacy that we leave. We still need to build things, we still need products, but we should build them at the most economical and environmentally less damaging in everything we do. We should have that in the back of our mind.
Yeah.
So we try to run our ball mill less to reduce electricity. We have a boiler system placed to reduce our gas usage. We're investigating other initiatives. We've not done them yet, but we're looking at biofuels, combined heat and power, solar on roofs. A lot of the factories in Ormont, we recycle their water off the roofs and things like that. So we're constantly looking at that. Over the next couple of years, we're going to be looking at our packaging to try and see if we can do a plastic alternative or something different. Yeah. So
the problem is you need to be waterproof.
We need to be waterproof because our blocks soak water up, so they've got to be waterproof. Yeah. Concrete blocks not so, but aircrete blocks are porous. So
I went and visited the power station down the road that runs on recycled timber.
Right.
And it just produces electricity from
from
it's actually new carbon
rather
than old carbon, and I think that's great.
But getting biomass in here, we were a bit landlocked, so we investigated that, haven't we? But I don't think it's physically possible to get enough trucks in here to feed our boiler. Yeah. But we are looking at many things. As Tarmac are looking at all sorts of things, plasma energy initiatives and all sorts of concrete Tarmac and things. So there's a lot going on.
Good.
Yeah, while we're here, we just look at this little area here. Some of the operatives on the plant have just done this for one of our colleagues, Nigel, who unfortunately passed away from cancer in July. He'd been with us 27 years and he was really popular, so they made a little seating area for him in Tarmac colours because he was Tarmac through and through for 27 years. And they've made some planters that they're actually out of his locker.
Are they going to put a plaque up or anything?
What we've
memorial
actually
plaque?
done is his personal lock-off lock is somewhere out on the plant for his last lock-off, and there it will stay, so they can always go and find his name.
All right, okay, no, that's
so
nice.
We have a personal lock-off, but the planters are made out of his locker. So they did that themselves. They asked for a bit of money from me to buy some benches, and they've painted it Tarmac colours. And
very good.
So they do care about each other.
Yeah, it's nice to know that you're cared about.
Yeah.
Outside rest area where they can come and have a ciggy under cover and
Yes. So
a cup of coffee or whatever they want while they're
some new
here.
picnic benches in and a new shelter for them, and
All in tarmac colours.
all in tarmac, everything in blue. Only one chair at the minute though, one at a time.
It's not blue.
No, that in, but eventually they'll have some benches in there fitted in, but we built this just before COVID, so we've only got access for one person in there now at the minute,
Right.
which causes us some consternation, but we have to be safe first.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
All the ladders are locked up safely so people can't just come along and grab one and then have an accident.
So
And then you've got all your harnesses here for working at height.
so we have working at height, confined space, they have harnesses on. The ladders are dotted all around the factory. We've got 45 ladders at different points, all individually along, so they don't have to carry them from place to place, so they're all at points of use. So we're trying to make everything better and easier for them to work.
Health and safety once again. And this is the canteen where they can have a...
Yeah, so we're just in the process, we're going to redesign this in the next couple of months, but this is from the old days where we had a smoking and non-smoking canteen. So this is the small one, and then we've got another one here, the larger one. At the minute we're only allowed 2 people in there at once.
And socially distanced.
Socially distanced, there's 2 chairs, and then after, when we got through all the COVID stuff, we're going to redesign all this and refurbish it all.
Yeah.
Just refurbish this locker room there for now, so everybody's got new lockers, new flooring, and we're slowly working through the plan, improving all their welfare facilities and making it a nicer place to come and work. So
Do you have showers?
we've got showers, we've currently got a communal shower, but next week we're going to have some private shower cubicles put in and refurbish all that, and all the toilets. So as we're working through the factory bit by bit, we're improving the facilities as well, which have been a bit dated for a number of years, but it's appreciated by the lads, I think.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
And I want it to be a nice place for them to come and work and feel comfortable, and that's what I'm trying to achieve.
Don't not want to retire when they get old.
Well, me and Gary do, but yeah. So, but overall, I think, they do appreciate little things like that, and it makes a difference to people's working lives. Having
of course it does.
Decent locker, something clean, good shower facilities, and we try and look after them best we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we've got here is once the blocks have been taken off, you can just see they're flat bottoms now.
Yeah.
Before we put the foam side back on,
Got to be clean.
we just scrub them off with a wire brush to make sure, because the foam sides have got a rubber seal underneath them, and they need to see, otherwise the mixture will leak out and then we have to clean it up. Well, the lads have to clean it up, so we've made sure that doesn't happen, because the least time they spend doing that, the more time they can spend producing.
That's it.
So since I've come here, we've actually reduced the leakage by 95% from the side of the tops by working with local manufacturers to put new types of seal in and things like that, and that's reduced our cleaning time on a Thursday from 5 and 6 hours down to about 2 hours and less because of that.
Marvellous.
So you can see the foam side coming across from this side up to this empty flat. Underneath you can sort of see the rubber seal sticking out.
Yeah.
We just had a new type of seal redesign, like a multiple edge on it, so it stops any leakage.
A bit like a windscreen wiper.
A bit like that, yeah, and it's well located into the bottom. So now we've got to the point of the blocks have been cut, they've come back out of the oven.
Yeah.
Any heat you can see coming off them now is due to the cook process now, that's residual.
Right.
And this is what we call the half pike, and the reason it's a half pike is because it will lift up half a pike.
Right.
So the grab will come across, take half a pike, which the other half's already gone.
And this will put that pack on top of the other one.
It will, and then it will split that pack into half again, and then we will band it and bag it. at this point now, we've now halved the pack again, and that's the finished pack size.
Right.
We will then strap that, and then we will put a bag on it, and then it will go out to the yard for loading.
It's like watching something off a tournament, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's split the pack. And that's it being banded.
Now we need to bag it. This line here is where we can make forklift pipes. So we usually run them at different times. We don't need as many forklift pipes as the other ones. But you can see how it's left the holes in there for the forklift, so we call them a void pipe. So this line is just used for that, making void pipes.
Right.
So the last thing before they go out the door is to put packaging on them. Currently making, these are just 100 mil standards. We change the roll depending on what product we're making.
So are they heat shrink?
Yeah, so what will happen is the bag will get made up here, comes on a roll, and then the next part along we've got a gas shrink ring.
Yeah.
It will shrink the bag, as you can see.
So the vacuum sealed, waterproof, doesn't matter if they sit outside in the rain.
No, it doesn't.
Not that you want it to.
I'd rather them get moved on onto a building site.
No, I mean on the building
On the
site.
building site, yeah, that's the idea. They can sit out there. So
Yeah.
as the vacuum, it sucks the bag underneath and then seals it round.
Very interesting. And you say you're looking for plastic alternatives.
We're always looking at different things we can use to reduce our plastic use.
Can this plastic be recycled?
Not 100% yet, no. And that's what we're looking at. So we're better, because it's a shrink plastic, it's a bit upwards and outward stuff. So we are looking at upgrading this line for a different type of bagger over the next couple of years.
Right.
That will be a more environmentally friendly bag.
Well, I like the way it makes like a big parachute out of it. Because one of the problems with plastic is it gets like a static and they tend to stick together, doesn't it? I'll see if I can catch it going over again.
Yeah, you should.
So it pulls it up, the open bit's at the top, and then it spins it right round and fills it full of air. Let's see if I can get it. So it comes right down and whee, up it goes. Fills it full of air so it goes straight over the top, no worries. Look at that. Fantastic. So this is where they've come out at the other end, all ready to get loaded up. They've got an extremely large truck here running around the yard, and they all get stacked up. They've got a couple more trucks there. They all get stacked up in the appropriate place. I'm assuming each brick has a separate part of the yard.
We have. We do them in batches as well in ovens, so we know which one they've come out of.
Right, so they're all segregated right down to which oven they've come out of.
So the next thing is to put them on a truck and get them to a site. So we're going to have a look at that, shall we?
Yeah, if you can get any lorry drivers.
Yes,
nobody wants to be a lorry driver.
It's not easy at the minute.
No.
But we're still doing a lot of loads a day.
No, nobody wants to be a lorry driver. Mean bits of kit there. So all you people out there that like fork trucks and big machines, there you go. That's the beauty, and we've got another one here, look, running around. I'd drive this all day for nothing, but don't tell Matt.
Right, you're in.
People still interested in the big buckets. There we go.
So this is the final part now. That's all loaded up and strapped up. We have quite harsh strapping standards in Tarmac, usually above everyone else, because it's really important to us that we don't have anything come off a truck on the road.
Well, there was a case not long ago where a brick came off the back of a lorry, went through the windscreen of the car and come in the opposite way and killed the driver.
Exactly, so we don't want that to be anything from Tarmac, so
No.
we make sure that they've got certain straps on there, they've got corner boards on there, we put void guards in the middle, so there's no movement, and all the side curtains are on there, and we do what's called 9-point checks on all our hauliers, checking that they've got all the safety systems. So but they work with us really well, so we've got Swains in here, that great company. We spend a lot of time building a partnership with them as well. They're not just working for us. So their safety directors come up and we look round and look at our way to improve things. So we try and build partnerships here rather than just working with people.
And as you can see, there's a nice big high-ab or lorry-mounted crane. So if it's going straight to a site, it can actually unload it himself, which means there's nobody running around with fork trucks where people could get killed and crushed and things like that. I mean, I know you can still have accidents with high-abs, but at least you've not got machinery running around on a site where people can get killed. I know a lot of the time on building sites they use telehandlers, and they are massive machines and they're notorious for having blind spots, and you don't have that problem with these. Nice big seat, up in the air, you can see absolutely everything.
So the guys will come up to the barrier and wait.
So they come in empty, get weighed.
They come in empty, stay there. The loader then will radio up to Mick in the office. Mick, who you've met before. Mick will then tell them what to load. He will open the barrier, call them through into the loading zone. The drivers stay in the cab and take the keys out when they're loading. That's part of our procedure. The guys will then load them. Once they've been loaded, they will then drive round onto the weigh bridge. We'll check the weight, make sure that they're legal. If we'll adjust, either add or take pikes off if we need to.
Is it axle weight or total weight?
Total weight.
Right, okay.
And then after that, they will come forward into the strapping area where they will strap down. When we're happy with that, they might get the 9-point check there. We do them at random on them. Once they've done the 9-point check, we're all happy. They'll go to Mick to get the dispatch ticket, and then they'll be off on the way.
Right, so you don't, not on all of them anyway, you don't check them physically, all the strapping, you just check it on some vehicles?
On all of them. Mick watches them all with the camera to make sure that. But we will do a full 9-point check where we'll check the reversing system, we'll check the wheel nut indicators, we'll check cameras.
You do that once in a while?
We do 3 a day.
Oh right, okay.
So we don't know.
Is that what Mick does?
No, Jack, the yard manager, does that.
Right, okay.
If we see anything untoward, we will intervene. We won't let anything go to the yard unless we're really happy with it.
Good.
So the guys will load one of these in about an average about 13 minutes. About 70 pikes, 72 pikes, depending on what kind of.
So I'm assuming they've either got a screen in there telling them what to pack, or it's done with a radio.
It's normally the same thing. So normally there'll be 72 pikes of 100mm standards.
I mean, for each vehicle, does Mick get in touch with the fork truck drivers and tell them what
we've got a system, so what will happen is they will radio Mick with the registration. Mick will put the registration to the system, and it will say what the order is.
Right, okay, got you.
So that's already been pre-done by our central ordering.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how the truck driver knows, the fork truck driver knows.
Yeah, so then he will radio up to Mick and say, this registration's arrived. Mick will then radio the fork truck driver back and say, put 72 packs of 100mm standards on it. Or put 70 packs of 300mm 7 newtons on it.
Yeah.
And they're so used to it, our guys, they just bang them on. They know where everything is.
So this chap here is just stacking them.
This one's bringing them off the line from the factory, the ones that have been made, and stacking them up.
And the other lad is
loading
the vehicle
at the same time. Yeah. And they're pretty good with the control and size. We stack 15 high here.
Yeah. They look like giant dominoes.
They do.
Please don't get the domino effect, you're alright?
Yeah, we've not had any topple overs or anything. We've got a good yard base and
good drivers.
The lads are really good. We've got special clamps that are thinner as well to allow us to do that.
Yeah,
the
these
plant's
these
designed.
lads have got to know what they're doing when you're stacking them like that,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, they're quite high and it could cause severe damage if they went over.
So they have to be precise in the driving as well, make sure they don't clip anything.
Yeah.
I've been here 2.5 years, we've had no incidents like that. And as far as I'm aware, for the last 10 years, we've had no incidents like that.
Which is what you want.
Yeah. Number one priority, everybody goes home the same way that they came.
That's it. But you haven't got a wind turbine on site to help with your
That
power.
might be a thought. We're wondering if we could get a cable stripped across to that one, but
Yeah. These people that slag them off, I keep saying, I wish I could have one at the bottom of my garden.
we are limited, obviously. You can see for space, we're getting quite full.
Any plans to move or expand?
Expansion's difficult because there's nothing else round here, so and it's
Buy next
designed-
door out?
We could, well, Cal Tire,
Yeah,
that would be useful for us.
yeah, I can imagine.
But I think
Make them a financial offer they can't refuse.
when the plant was built in 1978, I don't think there was much around here.
No. Here we are, we've got an aerial view of Tarmac now, and we've got a shot of the stockyard. So this is all the stock that's kept in. Now let's just move forward a little bit. And to the left there, that building, what's that big building there, Matt?
So that's the autoclaves. So where we looked at the traverses, each end, the autoclaves actually go outside in the middle, so you can see the two buildings and the autoclave pipes in between.
Right, okie doke.
So they're the 8 autoclaves.
And then we've got some more stock at the side of it.
Yep, they're for brick. They're brick cutting stock.
And then to the right, we've got the car park and the staff offices. Yeah?
Yeah, and
Next
us.
to the road. And us.
Yeah.
Can't see us though, because
No.
we're bloody miles away. And then we're going to move forward a little bit. And there's the rest of the plants. We've got the silos there.
Yeah, silos, main factory.
And the main factory, which is where we watched all the moulds being made and all the bricks being made and everything. And then we've got the chimney there in the corner where the steam's coming out. Let's see if we can get a better shot of that. And there's the steam coming out the chimney. So that is the whole plant. If any of you have watched my previous videos, I'll put my teeth back in. The chap on the left is Mick, and you may recognise him. I think the video was called "I'm Bricking It Here."
That was it.
And Mick is a nice young man. Well, maybe not quite so young, but a nice chap anyway that come out and spoke to me and told me all about what we did, or what they do at this plant, and that led to this tour. And I have to say thank you very much, Mick. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here now. And I have to say a very special thank you to Matt and Gary, who's hiding out of the way. They don't want a photo bomb, but he's hiding out. Oh, sorry, he's going off to work now. He's got to do some work eventually.
Got parcel force here.
But anyway, I'd like to say thank you to the pair of you. It's been absolutely fantastic. You do realise it's going to take me forever to edit all of this. We've got a bit of drone shot, so I'm going to pass that on, and I will let Matt know. I'll send him. Oh, tipper. So I will let Matt know when this video is going live, and hopefully he's going to like it. I don't think we're giving any trade secrets away, have we?
No, I don't think so. No, we've had a good look at the plant. I hope.
Yeah, we've had a real good look
Found
round the
interesting.
plant. The only thing I can say is he gave me the orange overalls, same as he was wearing. How he wears them all day, I don't know. The elbows where my arms were bent were like little swimming pools. It was, especially when we got to where the ovens were, it was
It
red
does get a
hot.
little bit warm on there, but we have localised cooling in areas for them, but it is a hot process.
Yeah.
It'll be getting cooler now though. We've got full worst of it this summer.
Yeah, yeah. January's on its way.
Yeah, basically, as in the trade, Pete got tangoed.
He did get tangled, yeah.
Yes, I definitely got tango. I look like a big orange. Anyway, you gentlemen, thank you very much. I'd like to shake both your hands
Yes,
before
thank
we
you,
go.
Pete. Pleasure.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
Matt.
for coming.
I've
It's our
thoroughly
pleasure.
enjoyed it,
And,
and I can't wait to get this video
Well,
processed and
hope everyone
uploaded.
enjoys what they see, and as I said before, if there's any community groups that might need some assistance, you know where I am. Come and see me. We'll see what we can do.
And I'll pop your email address underneath.
That's fine. And
But not, please don't troll him. Only email him if you've got a genuine
Yeah.
a genuine
be
need,
nice.
or if you want to say how good the video was and how much you enjoyed it. All right, everybody. I'm going to say love you and leave you, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.